You know, I've told y'all in a lot of my videos that this black male is suspect. And when you view this Afro-American Negro and his sexuality, you have to wonder, when viewing him, exactly what side of the plate is this monkey batting from? And even though you have these Afro-American Negro women who get blindsided by these brothers who pretend to be heterosexual or would not classify themselves as gay because after all they're still sleeping with her, but she is just a front. And these sisters can't pick this shit up. They cannot figure out, and I've had black women ask me this, what are the warning signs? And I'm dumbfounded whenever I hear females say this shit. You mean to tell me as a woman, you can't deal with this guy and in dealing with him can't pick up that something ain't right with his sexuality? It reminds me of a guy, of a friend of mine, and when I was in college, and we would always work out together. And the guy, he taught in the math lab. So after I got out of class, I would go to the math lab and we would meet up and then we would go to the gym and work out. Well, this one particular day, he was tutoring a student. So I'm sitting there waiting till he get done so we can go to the gym and work out. And as I walked in the math lab, there was a sister sitting off to the cut. Fine sister, attractive sister. So I asked him, hey man, who is that? And he was like, well, he gave me her name. She comes in here, she's taking math class and she's getting tutored. She's in here every day. So I'm like, well, why you finish tutoring this student here? I'm gonna go holler at her because again, she met my criteria. So make a long story short, I got her phone number. We exchanged phone numbers, and we're talking. But every time we talk, we had decent conversations, but there was just something that just didn't feel right about her. And I can remember one day calling her. And I was about to ask her, I said, I got something to ask you, but I don't want you to get offended. And she responded to me, you want to ask me if I am a lesbian or if I'm bisexual. And that's exactly what I wanted to ask her. Because there was something about her through the process of talking to her, I just couldn't figure out what it was, and it had to be that. And I say all that to say this, that if you as a black female can deal with these savages and you cannot tell that there's something awry, then you might want to check yourself. Because a man knows a woman. Likewise, a woman should, I say should. But what you'll find with these black men is that they're suspect. This is the reason why you will constantly hear homosexual references coming from their mouth. You got guys who call themselves heterosexual, constantly telling another black man or another man, suck my dick. You want to suck my dick. This is mind-boggling to me. It's baffling to me how you would tell that to another man if you actually really didn't want him to do it. And again, we know that you do because again, half of these savages bat from both sides of the plate. And because they are so illogical in their thinking, they have developed a mindset that says, well, since I still have sexual relations with a female, I'm not really gay. And you have black women who will agree with that. Because again, as I've told y'all this in many of my videos, when it comes down to this black female, half a man is better than no man at all. So even though she knows that he bats from the other side of the plate, she will give him a pass because in her mind, well, I got something. Something is better than nothing. And this is the only way that you can actually look at this Negro. And that whole bad wench piece that I've dealt with in the other video, that's the only way this shit makes heads or tails. There's no other way you can dice this shit. That's the reason why I decided to take this turn in this rabbit hole. Because if you're going to say, and again, this sister is a bad wench. She's a bad wench because she's dating a white man. Makes no sense because we know that you will date a white woman. So that can't be the source of your anger. That makes no sense. You're calling her a sellout. You're calling her all kinds of names because she's with this white man. But we know that you will date a white woman. So we have to take a step back and say, well, that can't be the problem. What is the problem then? What is the Negro's problem when it comes down to his woman being with a white man? It can't be because he thinks that's selling out. He thinks that's a bad wench because, again, he fucks white women. So what is it? If it's not all of the above, what is it? And what it is what I've showed you. I told you this Afro-American Negro loves white men himself. Oh, yes, he does. Oh, yes, he do. And when you look at his anger towards this black female for dating a white man, the very same white man that he would date. So now, why do you have such a problem with her? I mean, what is it that you got your panties in a bunch, you're making videos, you calling her names, but we know that you not only will date a white woman, but we also have seen that you will also date a white man. So now what is your problem with your black woman sucking the dick of a white man? And I'm going to tell you what it is. I know this is tough, but I told y'all this rabbit hole is deep. The problem that this Negro have is that this Negro is jealous. Oh, yes, he is. This is what you got to understand about this black male. If you don't understand nothing, you have to understand that he is effeminate. And when you view him and you listen to his anger towards black women who date white men, it makes no sense. I mean, you have to take a step back and you put everything on the table and you weigh it out and you say, listen, this shit ain't adding up. You mad at her for dating a white man, but you date white women. You mad at her for dating a white man, but you will date a white man too. So now once we understand this dynamic, we have to ask ourselves the logical question. What's wrong with this Negro then? What is he so mad about? He's mad because the Negro is jealous. He's jealous of the relationship these sisters have with the man that he wants himself. I know that's tough.